would you recommend transitioning from personal name to other structures?
It depends on the person's scenario. I didn't buy in a company or a trust until after I had like 11, 12 properties. The policies have changed over the last few years. When I was first starting to buy back in literally 2009, 2010, like policies were different to what they are today. So depending on the person's career, what they do, if they're in a high risk job and then they're at high risk of getting sued and losing, money by being sued or whatever it is, then I'd be like, yeah, look, talk to an accountant, talk to a financial advisor, whatever, and then maybe buying a trust or company. However, if you're just starting out, I think it really depends on how much capital that person has. If they've only got 50K and they're buying their first property, well, then I wouldn't go down the route of buying in a company or trust. It doesn't make sense to me. It's stupid because it makes finance much more difficult. It makes administration much more difficult. If someone has a bigger capital base and someone has a higher net worth, like maybe they've already got 3 to 4 properties, maybe they've got $1 million net equity, maybe they're two people in a relationship and they're both full-time working as an example, and they got a decent household income, then I would say, okay, let's explore buying in a company or trust. However, if someone owns a business and that business has a lot of net profitability, and let's say someone has a business and it's making $5 million in gross revenue and then it's making $2 million in net profit as an example, I believe they should buy in a company, not buy in their individual name or a trust if they have high net profitability. And the reason why that is because usually once you have net profit left in the business, you've already paid tax on, retained earnings or whatever the technical way to talk about it is, you can then lend that money from the business to another company and then use that company to buy properties in that company. So what people do is if they make net profit within a business, as an example, $1 million a year, they take the $1 million a year, they lend it to another company, then they use that company to buy the property in that they've now got the $1 million in from that was made in the original business that they own. Then once the property grows in value or they buy it really, really well, they take the money out of that business, back out, and then they repay the business back the money. So it's like borrowing funds from a business to then lend to another company, to then buy a property, to then get the property revalued, to then take the equity out and then pay it back to the company. So yeah, there's a lot to it.